dedicated, obsessed, focused. This is the Masters of Fitness podcast.
Welcome back to the Masters of Fitness podcast for our 8th episode. Can you believe it's been 8 episodes already, Big Dad King? How do you feel about that?
I know. It's kind of crazy, huh? 8 of them.
8 people in, getting about what? I think over the 8 shows, we had about 2,000 viewers per show, so about 14,000 viewers so far, man. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. I would say that's it's pretty good for a couple of local Beaumont CrossFitters just having a good time in here, decided one day to talk about fitness, right?
That's it.
So welcome people. Welcome back. We thank you for being here. Once again, you could go to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, wherever you can find a podcast, you can find the Masters of Fitness. Tell us what where they can find you on Instagram, Thad.
Instagram at King Thad.
At King Thad. At
Yes,
King
sir.
Thad on Instagram. And also, what else Instagram you have? I saw Cattail Marsh just kicked off a nice little Instagram page too,
we
right?
We have a Cattail Marsh page now at Cattail Marsh Crew.
Cattail Marsh Crew.
Yep, the Cattail Marsh Crew.
They make some of the they make some of the coolest T-shirts.
Yeah.
I run just because I like the T-shirts. It's a good high quality T-shirt. So if you haven't been out to Cattail Marsh on Thursday evenings at 6:30, we run out there at the Cattail Marsh. Or if you just want to go out there and visit Cattail Marsh, is way back out there behind Terrell Park.
Right. You can bring your bike, ride your bike. You can walk, bring the family out there and walk, whatever you want to do. We have a good time.
Good time, run, walk. It's a little bit something for everybody. Thad, kind of mad at you, man.
Why you mad at me, Ernest?
First off, you came in, you finally brought me some of this meal prep that you that you cook every day. So he kind of threw it at me. It was the leftovers, but I'll take it. it's gonna be my lunch for tomorrow. But
Can't
appreciate
be too choosy.
Can't be beggars, cannot be choosy. That's what Mom always said. Also, talk about this past 4 weeks, man. Very successful endurance class you've been having over there at CrossFit Beaumont. About 30 people per class. Tell us a little bit about your class, man. Why should I come to your endurance class?
Well, we've been rolling over there, man, ever since we got started. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I've been able to that Neil gave me the chance to come in there and go ahead and get my class going like he has.
Kind of make it your own.
Right. Like you said, we've had right about 30 people in every single class. And it's been a lot of fun, man.
Every single person who I talk to hates the class and loves the class in the same sense because it gives you a different mindset around. You know, every CrossFit workout, we used to get in there 10, 15 minutes at the most, and we done. We burn out. But this is 40 minutes of work.
Right. Usually it's going to be about 40 to 45 minutes. I don't know. This week some people were finishing around 30.
30.
But, you know, I just try to make them to where I got a couple of goals in mind whenever I try to come up with these workouts. One, I want everybody to have fun.
There you go.
You know,
fun.
for one. 2, I want to bring up some things that we don't usually do on a normal everyday workout. You know, I'll try to implement all kinds of
like this week was slam balls.
Right. The whole workout was nothing but slam balls.
I really liked the slam ball wood chops. That's what I'm gonna call them. I don't know the official
That's
word.
what they were. That's what
slam
it was.
ball wood chops. But what it did, it kind of gave my shoulders a different feel, a different type of work a different type of muscle group. So
yeah. But I really enjoy making up these workouts like this. I've gotten really, really, really good results.
So you enjoy making people suffer.
Yeah. Hey, I suffer too. I get up early on Saturday mornings. I go up to the gym at 7 o'clock. The class starts at 8:30. I get there at 7 a.m. and I ask for a couple of volunteers during the week, and we go up there at 7 a.m. and do the workout before everybody gets there.
And it's weird because I'm so used to you doing the workouts with us. We can normally team up doing the workouts. Now he just get to come critique my form the whole time. Hey, Ernest, what you got going on over there? Making sure I'm all right. But
so, you know, implementing different devices, you know,
the vices of torture.
Like this week, you know, was all slam balls, which is not something that you normally do. I mean, you might run across a workout here and there where you're where you're
I've
using the
ran
slam
across
ball?
zero workouts with slam balls.
Well,
Unless I do them on my own. Most of the time, even on the CrossFit main page, it's rare that they program slam balls.
exactly. So that's one reason why, I don't know, I picked it. I said, man, I got to figure out something. So, I mean, the class is on Saturday. Come Sunday evening, I'm already thinking about what to do next Saturday. Right. And with as large as these classes have been, you know, the programming can get a little tricky.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's not so people don't understand, it's not as simple. He's not just throwing a dart at a board, making these workouts. So it's very strategic. It's weeks in the planning and throwing shots. Hey guys, what y'all think about this? What y'all think about that? No, we don't want to do that. So,
but you know, it's a double-edged sword. You know, I'm trying to get people to. One of my goals is I'm building muscular endurance.
There you go.
Cardiovascular endurance. You know, most of our CrossFit workouts, a 20-minute CrossFit workout is a long workout. And, you know, you might do one of those like once a week. Maybe once a week. Right. You know, you'll get into some little 7 and 10-minute workouts. But by throwing these longer workouts with more of a lower skill level, you should say.
You can keep that endurance to keep your heart rate up.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, we can, it works everything.
It works everything.
You know?
So people come CrossFit Beaumont, 8:30, free class. Check it out. It's pretty busy. Don't get intimidated. It's fun.
No, I make them to where anybody can do it.
It's scalable
I don't care who it is. If you're a runner, a long distance runner, if you're a cycler where you cycle, it doesn't matter.
And I was talking to somebody about that in the gym, kind of how it evolved from just running to where you start adding more like CrossFit elements into it,
right,
to kind of cater to both worlds. A runner could come in and get something different, and a CrossFit person could come in and get more to endurance. So kind of merging those two worlds together. So good stuff. Go check out Coach Stad, man. He got a good thing going over there. He's been doing endurance class for about 4 years now?
5 years.
5 years. 5 years doing endurance class. It's starting to take off. Good thing for the community, keeping Beaumont healthy.
And anybody can go. It's free to anybody.
Free.
Right.
Everybody look free. Free 99. So, without further ado, today we're gonna segue a little bit into our show. We got a special guest with us today. One of my good buddies, I like to say, co-worker. He even was nice enough to invite me over to his church to speak. So that was kind of my first taste of thinking I could do this thing a little bit. So we want to welcome my brother, my good friend, workout buddy, brother Marlon Foots to the show. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, thank y'all for having me, man.
You see the people clap because they saw them pictures I posted on Facebook. So like, who is that big dude? Don't worry about who that is, man. So Marlon, welcome to the show, man. How you doing today, Marlon?
I'm good, man. Thank y'all for having me. Good opportunity. Just thankful that God gave me this opportunity to come to you guys' podcast, Masters of Fitness, and talk about fitness. That's what everybody.
Hey, man, what we talk about all day at work.
That's all we talk about. Fitness,
that's what I meant. That
eating, supplementation.
Right.
So this is, I mean,
I should have got a smaller shirt to show my cuts, man. Normally, I'm the biggest guy in the room, but now you got me out here looking weak, man. Big dog. That's all right. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do for fun? What makes Big Marlon tick?
Man, I'm pretty much a God-fearing man, family guy.
Man. Praise God.
Do a lot of Acts retreats with different ministries. Belong to Maximum Memorial Church of God in Christ. Family man, like I said. Of course, fitness is a big part of my life. Just helping people, mentoring kids, just meal prepping, teaching people about supplementation. But what wakes me up every day in the morning is just the fact of another day that God gave me, because a few years ago I had a heart attack, and it kind of set me back for a little bit. Got out of bodybuilding, ended up gaining all kinds of weight.
Man.
But just the opportunity to get back in the gym and get back on the journey of getting back in shape.
I remember we was at work and you zoned in. You was like, Ernest, I think I'm about to get serious again.
Yeah.
Say, what? This man brought Jasmine rice. There's one thing Foots love. It's jasmine
One of my
rice.
favorites is
Jasmine rice
yeah.
and chicken.
Chicken, oatmeal, and peanut butter.
Oatmeal, peanut butter, and chicken.
Dang, he'd like that meal I brought you.
Yeah,
over there.
so he was eyeballing it. You better stay away from my
As soon as you
meal.
walked in, I was looking. I was like, man.
So me, I'm gonna tell this story about
goodness
Foots, man.
gracious.
So me and Foots. So remember, I always thought I was the big guy, and Patrick Plate came up to me, man, they got this guy that work out here that's bigger than you. I say, who is this guy? Named Big Marlon Foots. So I get a ticket at work one day, Thad.
a ticket.
I get a ticket at work. So I guess
that,
I guess they thought I was a pretty big guy. So they had to call in reinforcements. And guess what I see come out the security truck? Big Marlon Foots. I say, man, y'all need all these people for little me. But, so Big Foots.
They had to bring out the big man.
Bring out the big dog.
Big guns.
Bring out the big dog. So Bigfoot. So his nickname. How did you get the nickname Bigfoots, man? Has that always been?
Well, actually,
did that start in the 6th grade, man? I went
yeah,
just begin.
soon as I started working out, man, that just kind of took off. As actually, Foots is my real last name.
Marlon Foots.
Most people thought it was a nickname, so the Bigfoots came into play. Actually, when I got started with the weight training and everything.
Weight training. And you said beforehand, how long you been weight training? We kind of did a little pre-talking.
Man, like I say, altogether about 33, 34 years. I started about 12 years old. I'm 45 now, so I went from originally living in Port Arthur in the city, and then my mom remarried and ended up moving up to Beaumont off of Vogt Road and Tram Road. And I got into weightlifting because we had this guy named EJ. Guy lived in the neighborhood, big old guy, big swole guy, man. And I remember it was a hot summer. We was changing the air conditioning in the house, and this guy EJ lifted up the whole unit, and this guy just shoved the unit in the window, man. And my mom, I saw the look on her face and the aspiration.
Hold on,
she was like, man. I said, so mama like muscle, so it kind of inspired me and it sparked some of a flame in me.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, I asked her to buy me the little cement DP set they had back in the day.
Old school. I used to have them old school iron.
Where your weights are crack and you hear the cement rattling inside the weights.
Yeah.
And I was about 12 years old, and man, my body just responded to weight training like a fish out of water into water, man. And so the rest been history, and I just been keeping it up ever since.
That's cool,
man. So you just been a solid dude since forever.
Seemed like pretty much forever. Yep. Absolutely.
So how did you get into football, man? That's your sport of choice. Was it just because you was just by default?
It was kind of like a byproduct of working out and default. I started, my body started responding, and one of the guys in the neighborhood said, man, why don't you try for football? So you look like you'd be a pretty good football player. So I tried out for 7th grade, 8th grade football, and I ended up signing my own papers because my mom didn't want me to play originally because of the injuries, I imagine. And so I ended up playing quarterback, ended up moving to the cornerback in junior high school. And
Hold on.
Being pretty
you played
good at it.
Cornerback?
Cornerback, man.
How big were you back then?
Oh, man, if I had to guess, probably 130-ish, 140-ish, if I had to guess back then. And then as time went on from 8th grade to 9th grade, that's when the biggest change came about, and I became a defensive end and linebacker in 9th grade.
That's cool, man.
But it's like I said, it was like a byproduct of working out and training. And I've realized, hey, man, I'm pretty good at this. And I played football and all the way up and got to high school, and then ended up moving to starting inside linebacker and outside linebacker, defensive end. It kind of put me all over the place then.
So you got to play all the positions where you really got to lay the leather to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I was a headhunter, man. Got to hit people and not get in trouble for it.
When's the first time? Can you remember the first time that you really laid a smack on somebody and said, "Damn"?
Man, it was 9th grade, man. We was playing Westbrook, and I hit the running back pretty good and knocked the ball out of his hand. Ended up another guy picked it up and ran in for a touchdown. And I was like, man, I like this. I'm getting to hit somebody, and it was just a clean hit, and this was an adrenaline rush for me to be on that field and letting out a lot of pent up anger and not getting in trouble for it.
Right.
So, man,
That's cool.
You kind of flipped that into a scholarship to the big U of H.
Absolutely.
U of H Cougars, man.
Absolutely. That ended up leading to a scholarship to the University of Houston. I received a scholarship in 92.
92? Good
Played
deal,
there,
man.
collegiate football from 92 to 96.
I know a lot of people, it's funny when you talk to guys who play college sports, back in the day, be like, oh, it wasn't nothing. I said, man, it's a lot to get a scholarship to play D1 ball. To play anywhere, to play ball is really a blessing.
It is. It's an absolute
Especially
blessing.
when mom ain't got to come out of pocket for no education. So
and, yeah, she was like, mama ain't gonna pay for all that. So, but to make a long story short with that as well, she ended up, like I said earlier, I signed my own papers to play football, and then when it led to that football scholarship to the University of Houston, it was all good, man. She was excited and happy for me that I got a chance to, get into college, and now she didn't have to pay for it,
Cool, man. So my next question for you, man. Working out back then, how was the workouts, the old school Fieldhouse workouts compared to what you got going on now? You still keep some of those elements, the old football stuff?
I still use some of the old traditional stuff, but back then it was more power movements, power cleans, squats, deadlifts, bench pressing, the military press, a lot of the quick fast twitch fiber muscles.
So you can get off that line quick.
So you can have a lot of explosion to hit people and explode off the line or explode when you're hitting somebody. So those workouts back then was geared more to a full body workout, far as getting the overall development for that sport of contact.
So back then y'all didn't do much pulling like say a cleans or anything like that?
We did power cleans. Like I say, it was a whole spectrum of workouts, but for the most part, it's power cleans, bench deadlifts, and squats, military press, geared
just
toward
the foundational
of
type stuff.
Just getting everything, far as the basic muscles and stuff involved and engaged for more or less contact in sports.
So you still keep some of that part of your regiment now?
I kind of switched it up a little bit different. For bodybuilding, I train like each muscle group twice a week. I do like a split routine. Sometime I go in the mornings. I kind of do like for instance, if I was a Monday morning, tomorrow morning, I go in there and do a 10-minute cardio warm up, and then I do some shoulder press and shoulders, extensions and curls, and I'm sorry, not curls, shoulder lateral movements, different type of shoulder movements, getting the shoulders engaged.
So let me interrupt you right here, Bigfoots, real quick. You said just 10-minute cardio. Bigfoot's been telling me and Wes, he been telling me and Wes at work that he was going to come do a CrossFit class since last year. Man, I got to get back in shape for that.
And I've been promising that you still going to get that workout.
So we got perfect example. I'm coming pick you up, and you coming to Thad's endurance class one Saturday.
I will make
one
a plan
Saturday.
On that.
That's what you can do for us, Bigfoot.
I always kid with Ernest about CrossFit getting people hurt, but that's not true. That's just something I started. For me, with the old injuries I had from football, with some of the movements here, me and Ernest always kid around saying, "Man, CrossFit don't get you hurt. Wrong form and
that's key.
Wrong coaching get you hurt."
Right.
There you go. So backtracking, I know we jumped ahead of ourselves a little bit. Backtracking, how did you get out of college? You young big guy, Bigfoots. How did you get into bodybuilding? What made you want to dabble into the world of lifting weights, lifting heavy objects?
I would say once my football career was over, I ended up finding this need to want to compete. I still had a urge to compete, so I was like, well, since my body responded to bodybuilding as weightlifting as it did, let me give a shot at bodybuilding. That's probably something I could be good at, just to see what I can do with it, and end up getting into bodybuilding probably 2002. 2002,
okay.
Did my first show actually at the University of Houston, ironically, and ended up placing second place. And then
your first show?
First show ever.
Dang.
Ended up placing second place. Kind of overdid it. I did like 2-a-days for like 15, 20 weeks. And
15, 20, 2-a-days for 15 or 20 weeks.
And actually competed at 220 pounds was in my first bodybuilding competition. So, but still, it led to a second place finish, and I fell in love with the sport. I kind of like the journey of transitioning and changing your body composition and watching your body progress and change over the weeks. And I just kind of fell in love with the journey of bodybuilding.
So what gym did you start out with down here, man? So here you got autographed posters around random gyms.
Actually, back then it was a gym called Workout Studio.
Workout Studio.
Beaumont. That's when I first started out bodybuilding. It was Workout Studio on I think it's on called the Drive.
Is it still around?
It's closed down.
Oh, okay.
And then I ended up joining, after that closed, I ended up joining a gym called Exogen.
He said a gym called Exogen.
So everybody know where Exogen's at. So kind of still had a lot of the old traditional equipment in there and some new equipment, updated equipment, and it was a gym that fit the needs of what my body needed and what I needed to do. So.
So what? Did you have a coach, or you just kind of tackle the bodybuilding aspect on your own and say, "Hey, man, I'm a big guy. I've been working out all my life. Let me just read some magazines and get it done."
Magazines, few coaches. Had a guy from Dallas by the name of Prince Harrison. A couple of guys from the gym, kind of just sharing knowledge with me and kind of helping me out. Aaron, another guy named Aaron Gibson. I don't know if you remember Aaron from ExxonMobil.
Yeah.
Kind of got me into it and getting me the basics that I needed for as the posing, the eating plans, the contest prep, and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of curious about, the eating, because I know it takes a lot of groceries.
Back then,
man, I bet Patricia is running through some chicken breasts.
That's one of the main.
Patricia, if you listening, this man Bigfoot eats every ounce of the food that you bring him every day.
Absolutely.
Boy, at 3 o'clock, he's scraping the side of that pan.
Well, that's one of the big parts of bodybuilding is your meals. I would say that's probably 80 to 90% of it is. And I heard Thad talking earlier about meal prepping and getting your meals that you need for the day. And back then, I would eat every 2 or 3 hours. Now that I've gotten a little bit older, my meals is probably along the span of every 3 to 4 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, because it's after 2 hours, I'm still full. So it's really no need to force feed at that point.
Right.
Especially when the body's still growing and you're still getting results.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say, back then it was 2 to 3 hours. Now I'm eating every maybe 4 to 5 hours. So 4 or 5 meals a day now.
Well, I know, like me personally, the food deal, it's a big thing for me. You know, I like to go through a lot of trouble to make all my food, good, clean food. I eat a lot of chicken breasts, stuff like that. But what I'm finding out is you can really mess with the way that you look, you know, by different proportions of your food.
Right.
You know, and it's really it's a fine line for me because my metabolism runs pretty quick to start with, but I'm finding that, you know, just a few little tweaks here and there, and man, things will start going in the other direction, and it really don't take that long.
So I think the main thing for as that is concerned is kind of find out what your body can do,
Right.
and getting used to your body, and
that's one thing people fail to miss a lot is, like, you have to do what works for you, and nothing happens overnight. You got to be consistent over a period of time. So what works for Thad, he can give me some advice. I might take it, implement it, but it might not be successful for me. So I can't go fuss at that. Hey, Thad, what you told me, it's not going to work. Bigfoot, you told me, blah, blah, blah. But what I found works best if you take elements from different things and then apply it to what you do. Like, hey, for me, I force myself to eat more vegetables. I do vegan 2 days a week.
Right.
People tell me, oh, man, you stupid for doing that. And I say, well, ever since I've been doing it, I've been seeing results because it's forced me to eat more green vegetables.
Right.
So,
And you do need those green vegetables.
oh, yeah.
So the main thing is getting used to your body, knowing what your body like, knowing how your body responds to different foods. Keeping a journal is something that's real helpful. You know, getting in. Some people can't eat jasmine rice and oatmeal, you know, sweet potatoes or whatever. So just knowing basically what's good for your body, what type of body that you have, and maximize those goals for your body to fit your body.
So you mentioned keeping a journal. That's key, because tell people how beneficial having a journal would be. What's beneficial by writing your food down?
When you write it down, because a lot of times you eat those meals, same meals a day, every day, all day long. You tend to forget and you kind of get into a routine, and you can't remember what all you ate, how much you ate. So writing those foods down, the measurements of those foods gives you a reference point for as your progress is concerned.
There you go.
And for as when you're getting into, like, maybe say you're getting ready for a competition in week 6, week 12, week 14, or whatever week it is, you can use that journal as a reference point to see if it's actually working, the stuff that you've implemented and doing.
So that's kind of goes along to what Thad said earlier, is the fact that you could tweak your diet and do things. You could always go back to it and reference, hey, I gained 5 pounds this week. Well, maybe because I upped my fats, or maybe I upped my proteins, upped my carbs. So now I could adjust it back and stop playing a guessing game. People get in trouble because they play the guessing game with their body. Oh, I'm not stepping on the scale. Oh, I'm not doing this. I'm just going to eat whatever I want. But like I like to say, your body is one big chemistry project. It's all about food going in, how it's burning, how it's getting utilized, and what's going out. You put high quality in, you're going to get the results you get out. So,
and we talked about that earlier. A lot of people get hooked on the scale, you know, as far as they use the scale as their progress. But and I was telling my wife this about, if you're eating the proper nutrition, you're getting the right meals in, you're getting the right supplementation in, the right water, you're exercising, you're doing everything, you're covering all your bases. It is absolutely essential to stay off that scale, especially when it comes to measuring your progress. Now, once you done lost a significant amount of weight and your body fat's real low, I was talking to Ernest earlier, it is important to get on the scale to make sure you're not burning up muscle tissue at that point. But initially, you're going to lose a lot of water, you're going to lose a lot of body fat.
But the key thing you said about that is body fat.
Right. So as long as
we're not just looking at the scale, we're looking at your weight compared to inches, compared to your body fat.
Absolutely. Looking in the mirror, looking how your clothes fitting on you, gauging your progress for as weight loss with the inches that you're taking off. And not just, like I say, just getting on the scale and going by a certain.
That's the one thing everybody learned from, is I like to call it the good morning appearance test.
Yeah.
How you look in the morning how you look in the morning in your birthday suit. That'll tell you. That'll tell you screw the scale, screw everything else. How do you look in that mirror in the morning?
It's the truth.
So. So along the lines with somebody asked a good question about your supplementation, like supplementation back then as compared to like supplementation now, along with the good diet.
As opposed to now, you got an array of supplements and you got to do a lot more research. Back then, all we had was GNC, Universal supplements, and Joe Weider supplements. So a lot of those mainstream supplements are still here today, but now covering your basic like branched chain amino acids, creatine, which back then they didn't have a lot of creatine. Just your multivitamins, minerals, and everything like that, drinking your water and stuff. But your protein, you know, getting a significant amount of protein in, 1 pound per gram per pound of body weight of protein is what I like to use. And that's a lot of protein for me. That's about 300 grams of protein.
About 800 chickens.
So how do you get that protein in? Well, you have to have some type of protein powder and as
to kind of supplement what you're not normally taking in,
because it's hard you can't, it's a humanly impossible to eat 300 grams of protein of chicken.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And fish and stuff like that.
Get tired of chewing that.
Yeah. But now with the different supplements, especially with the array of supplements we have now, you got to do a lot more research for as, you know, making sure that they're not just fillers and that the supplement actually have what it says that are in those supplements.
And that's kind of what's scary now, is that everybody buys these supplements from overseas in bulk, and anybody can mix up their own products and serve it to you on the market. And like you said, a lot of it's filled with fillers. So how do you? It's hard to know what's quality and what's good.
It's the screwed up part about the supplement industry is it's not regulated.
Nope.
That's weird, and it's mind blowing that it's not regulated.
Right. So it's what he's saying about doing your research and making sure that you're taking what you're taking is legit.
And this
that's big time these days. I've belonged to several Facebook groups as far as like coaches and stuff like that, and I've seen doctors comment on there that they don't trust any supplement companies.
Yeah.
And they'll actually do their own lab work on the stuff.
So I've been doing that recently about lab work. Can you actually get lab work done on your supplements to see if they legit, or
if you have enough money, huh?
Yeah.
If you got enough money, you can do everything. So
one of the rule of thumbs I use, and you can get those supplements tested, but I like this, I know I'm fortunate enough to know a few guys in the bodybuilding industry and the supplement industry, and the supplements that's been around since the 80s and 90s, those supplements are actually legit. They still working. I've actually applied the science of using those supplements. So a lot of times is trial and error.
Yeah, that's why I'm a big proponent of reference. Yeah. Let me know if it works for you. Have you seen results from it? do your own research. Don't just buy something because it's $8.99 and somebody giving buy one get one free. So get quality stuff. So
yeah, usually whenever Ernest tells me, I want to talk about supplements on the show.
Thad likes to he like to skate around and so, but supplements are important though.
There's so many people out there that has so many different opinions. You know, you can tell me that y'all have never argued at work about what supplement is better than another.
Yeah, and it's always a constant debate. But like I said, the thing about me was, far as being in the industry for a while, I had the chance to try these supplements and know which ones that work. So I can help a up and coming person that's kind of contemplating on what supplements they need to take and kind of share that advice.
So I think AJ said, where do you get the best research for your supplements?
The best research, a lot of people say the internet and Google, but just
old school asking.
The word of mouth and just getting somebody that's been doing it for a while, somebody that's seasoned, somebody that's doctors. Some doctors, they know a lot about supplementation, and just trying it. You know, sometimes you just got to try it out.
The big thing I always like to do is read the labels on the back. Read the labels on the back. Worst case scenario, you can see what's actually in there, what's fillers and what's not. Right. So get customer reading label, man. Supplements. So protein, creatine. Yep. So that's, to me, I remember we talked about this at work. I'm not want to get too deep into it, the supplement thing, but supplements I believe works the most are got your proteins, got your creatine, you got caffeine and BCAAs to a point. I'm not a huge BCAA fan. Me and Foots had plenty. We had plenty of debates on it.
In, man.
Do BCAAs work? Yes, they do work. My biggest thing is the cost. The cost is $60 a month worth using 5 little bitty scoops. But it works though. It's your muscles are made up of amino acids. You need amino acids to rebuild your muscles. But one thing me and Thad also, what he talked about the other day is eating right.
Right.
If you eat,
that is the absolute.
You can't just and so many people want to rely solely on supplementations when supplementation is kind of like the icing on the cake.
Right.
It's like you're already eating right. You got that king diet, so now I'm just fine tuning. I'm getting this creatine. I'm just like you said. It's impossible to eat that much protein. So you can't just not eat no protein and think you're gonna make it all up from a shake because your body digests and takes in that shake differently. And so many people just jump straight to proteins and eat McDonald's every day and wonder why it's not working. So
right.
But like you said, the main thing, and Dad said it earlier, is the actual your meals, the meal prepping, the actual food. You know, so supplements are good. Ernest, you said the icing on the cake, but the underlying factor in that situation is making sure you're getting those meals.
Right.
And I know Dad said earlier he preps his meals on Sunday, which is a good thing because now you're strategically placing your meals in place for the whole entire week.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Getting your meals in this, and it
makes it easy too. I reach in the refrigerator, grab my deal, put it in my lunchbox to go to work. I'm ready.
So you say getting your meals in for the day. That's cool. You said you eat every 3 to 4 hours.
If I go anything past 5, I done train my body so much to eat that way. My insulin will drop. I'll get the shakes and start shaking. So I've learned that about myself. Yeah, making sure I don't go too long without eating. So you want to make sure you get that meal in. Whatever you're doing at that time, just have to stop and make time for it, or bring you some protein shakes and protein bars on the go if you're on the job or something like that.
Healthy snacks. I found out having healthy snacks prevents you from eating those M&Ms.
Yeah. Oatmeal raisin cookies.
Man, that's a bunch of shots at me. It's oatmeal raisin.
But we talk about having these meals and eating. But the most important part that I'm finding out is having them properly balanced.
Yes.
Properly balanced
carbs,
meal.
Fats, and your proteins.
Right. A lot of people are like, man, I don't know. I don't understand those macros. There's a lot to them. It is. It works.
And you can that's another thing. If you can go on Google and Google that stuff about the macros, but you still ultimately have to learn your body composition, how much you weigh. Measuring your food is very important.
Yeah.
That way you know exactly what you're getting.
Because what's optimal size for you and protein intake is different for Thad. It's different for me. My body might react better to high fats.
Right.
What Thad might not react the same way to it.
And my body responds to carbohydrates. You know, so some people might not can't eat carbohydrates and they're carb sensitive. But my body needs the carbohydrates.
Yeah, mine does too. And right now, in the last few weeks, I've been fiddling with my carb intake quite a bit. I found out that I was taking in way too many.
Really?
Yeah, I was taking in way too many at one sitting.
Instead of dividing them up.
Spacing it out. Yeah.
Right, and there was a couple of meals a day where I was really consuming way too many for that particular meal. So I've kind of spaced things out, and I've noticed a big difference.
That's a good point. I'm going to have to try that
Real
out.
good point.
So
and you want your low glycemic index carbohydrates that way you won't spike your insulin as much, because the carbohydrates that spike your insulin tends to make me a little bit hungrier.
Yeah.
And I overeat as well.
Right.
So like stuff like jasmine rice, brown rice, wild rice, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, and stuff like that. Because if you eat too much, it's going to store as body fat.
Right.
And it's one thing I like to tell people is the fact that if you don't want to get too fancy, don't want to get all into those macros, and you're not that big into fine tuning your body, one thing I always say is make sure you know, or make sure when you're eating, you have a quality protein, a quality carbohydrate, and a fat. And every time that you eat your food, those should be the main proponents of your food. And we're not talking about no refined sugars like Snicker bars and cookies. We're talking about healthy, complex carbohydrates, the whole wheat, whole grains, oatmeals, the jasmine rice, the sweet potatoes, the vegetables that's not dipped in ranch dressing and cream cheese, the greens that's not cooked in bacon fat and salt pork, just to make them taste good. But it's I think sometimes they overthink diet and they go to these keto diets. They go to these intermittent. Well, I'm intermittent fasting, but intermittent fasting and all this. But if you just make it simple and just eat your carbs, your fats, and your proteins, and you, like you said, one thing you said is don't go into a caloric surplus.
Right.
You go into a caloric surplus, guess what you're gonna do? Your body's gonna store it as fat. You're gonna gain weight. You go into a caloric deficit, you're gonna lose weight, but you still have to make sure those calories are quality.
And I also think absolutely you want to make sure you not just following a fad of a diet that's coming along, and a lot of information is on the internet, and people get this information and they start, I need to try this keto diet, or I need to do the Atkins diet, or whatever it is at the time. So the main thing is just being patient. Stick to what worked, finding out what's working, and then once you find that what's working, fine tune it. And just stick to it and be patient. And over time, you're going to see the progress.
Create lifestyle habits, not temporary fixes.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's something you can do for the rest of your life.
So transitioning out of supplementation, we could almost have a whole.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to bring you back for our supplementation episode, Bigfoot.
Absolutely.
So transitioning into the lifting part of it, the bodybuilding, the workouts. So what are some of your go-to workouts you like to do? Your go-to. This is Foot's gold standard.
The gold standard.
The gold standard in the gym.
Back to my 10-minute cardio we talked about earlier. That was still burning in my spirit. I had to clear that up.
So let's talk about explain to people what your 10-minute cardio is.
The 10-minute is just a warm-up in the morning to get the blood flowing. And like I said, like it was a Monday to hit shoulders. And then I'll go back and do a split that evening and do legs. But on leg day, I tend not to do any cardio at all for that evening workout. And then Tuesday, that morning, I'll do the same thing, 10-minute, get the blood flowing. And then that morning, it'll be like a chest workout. Chest and tries. And then I'll go back that evening and do my back. Then I'll do my full 30, 45 minutes of cardio that evening. And I'll do that all the way up until Saturday. And a lot of times, Sunday is my day to rest. So my go-to equipment is hammer strengths, the hammer strength machines, the dumbbells. I'm still an old traditional guy. I like the dumbbells. I like the cables. Not so much into to the powerlifting stuff, but I still do like deadlifts as well.
Deadlifts, okay.
I started adding those back in. Ernest was getting on me about that. He's like, man, you got a bodybuilder. You
got a squat, man. Foot's been dodging
Got-
me on them
got the
squats for a
squats
long
back in
time, man.
We got to V&V that squat.
No,
work.
we called it. So funny story. We was watching he came over to watch the Cowboys playoff game. Dallas was getting whipped by St. Louis. He said, "Man, let's go bench press, Ernest. I'm upset. I'm mad." So we went in my garage, got on the bench press. We bench pressing. Halftime over with, man. We still getting our sets in. All of a sudden, Dallas scores a touchdown. He said, "Man, we got to keep lifting until Dallas come up with it." Right. So,
and that was a good workout, man. And it was something like you mentioned about making something fun.
Yeah.
Watching the game, and in our minds, we know psychologically that's not really what's happening. But it seemed like the more we live, the more the Cowboys.
all thing I know, Bigfoot's got up hitting 315 about 10 times. So. But then, so explain to people what exactly is hammer strength. People might not know what the hammer strength is.
Hammer strength is still like it's isolated machines, and you still use plates, the 45 plates on them or whatever you're gonna put on there, and it isolates each muscle group.
Okay,
you doing the chest or whatever. They got the hammer strengths for decline, the bench press, and the incline, and it pretty much isolates each muscle group, and it don't put any strain on the joints for us.
Joints, okay.
Like the bar can tend to do sometimes.
Right.
So it's kind of a safer option if you're not
It's
trying
a safer option, and you can go a little bit heavier
Okay.
in your movements, and you can isolate the muscle group and kind of get that mind and muscle connection that you're looking for with those type of movements.
So kind of loading that up with a question somebody posted is, what about women? Because women, that's kind of still good for women, the hammer strength, all that stuff, or?
It is, and because you can still adjust the amount of weight you use, and a lot of women to try to stay away from the fact of lifting weights because they think it's going to bulk them up and build too much
That's
muscle.
one of the biggest myths.
Real big misconception, and to dispel that myth is not so much for as it's going to bulk you up. If you think that's what it's going to do, lower the weight and do a lot of volume, a lot of
lower weights, a lot
repetition.
of volume. You hear that, Erica and Naomi? I think they both asked about weights for women.
So it'll just tone you up and actually help you lose a little bit more body fat in conjunction with the cardiovascular.
So when you talk about lower weight and more volume, don't some bodybuilders like intentionally hit like really, really high rep? I'm talking like 300 reps of something.
300.
Really,
I did an interview in 2009 on century sets.
Right.
Doing 100 repetitions at the end of your workout.
Century says, what the heck?
Yeah,
what the heck
it's,
is a century set?
Doing 100 reps at the
Okay.
end. Like you get the lightest weight possible, and when what that does is it causes a lot more blood flow to go into the muscle, and you'll get a bigger pump, bigger burn, and of course with the pump and the burn and the cardiovascular, and the eating right and the training, you can tend to tighten up a little bit more and lose more body fat.
yeah.
So the goal of it is just to tighten up and get that
Get more defined, and more definition.
Yeah, I have a book that I bought from a well-known. He's a CrossFit trainer, but he also does bodybuilding. So the book has probably 100 different exercises in it.
Wow.
That probably 98% of the exercises are done all with resistance bands.
Wow. Yes.
And
with that being said, also it minimizes injury.
right.
Because when you're training for competition and you get into a point to where your body fat's 3 to 4%, you're susceptible to different type of shoulder injuries, knee injuries, because your joints are real and tendons are drying out at that point.
And it's funny that I never thought about that, but during the past draft, the guy, I remember that receiver that was like real big, real cut up, his name DK Metcalf or whatever, he was like 2% body fat.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things they said or the GMs was worried about was the fact that he had no fat on him, so it was like wound so tight. Was he more susceptible to hamstring injuries and hamstring pulls because he didn't have that layer of fat on him?
I would think he would be.
I would think so too, and especially even sustaining a type of contact hit could cause injury to that lean body mass.
I mean,
as well.
that's not a healthy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So
that's not
please
healthy levels.
explain to the people that they see in the magazines is not how they walk around on a daily basis.
It's mostly for pretty much a season or a competition. You do have your rare genetic freaks, I would call them, where they walk around like that 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, but that's probably a low 5% of your population that has that type of low percentage of body fat.
And I think that kind of jades everybody's perception of fitness because they see those people and think about, I want to have this six-pack all the time, year round, and it's like that. We're saying it's hard to maintain that level of body fat. I think you have to get down to sub 9 or 10 to look like
I think it's around 7.
Around 7, and that's
7 is extremely 10% body fat is extremely low.
It is.
So when you start getting and dipping into the single digits, that's a real low body fat. That's like y'all said earlier. How you gonna maintain that? Is that a sustainable type of goal for as a lifestyle that you can sustain that?
Like you said, there's some people can walk around
and
like
some
that
people,
all the time.
Absolutely.
Look, Wes came in begging, he harassing you about CrossFit too. Wes, you missed that story earlier, Wes, when you joined the competition. But that's good for people to know is the fact that body fat is hard, man. It's something you got to watch. How can you trust body fat? Are scales really reliable to use, or what's the optimal way to get your body fat tested?
It's so many ways. They got this little calibrator. They clip. Some guys do 8 point, 4 point, whatever it is. My main thing that I always went by was, once again, we going back to that old school mirror. What do I look like when I wake up in the morning? What do I look like in the mirror? Yeah. And also getting a set of co-eyes, somebody like a coach or somebody to look at you and also give you their honest opinion on what am I looking like. Mm-hmm. It's really no set in stone way to check your body fat, but when you're fairly lean just by looking in the mirror. Pinching your skin, the skin will sometimes thin out like a sheet of paper, what we call it. And you also have these little fat deposits underneath your skin. Mm. And when those are gone, you're pretty much in the single digits.
Some good information, people. Get you some calibers.
Yeah.
Get some calibers, get your skin tested. So you big in the foots, big in the bodybuilding, got into it, and you got it. How you got out about you got it? Because when I met you was really big. You was Bigfoots when I met you, Bigfoot. Tell the people let's talk about your journey back to the stage. That's what I like to call your journey back to the stage, man. What got you back into bodybuilding?
I think let's go back to what got me out of it. I think it was the judging. I didn't like the judging because it's a very subjective sport. You can be the best guy that day, and sometimes you might not win. Mm-hmm. And that could be discouraging, sometimes. And then you can be the worst guy on the stage and get first or second place. Yeah. So sometimes it's whatever the judging is the judges are looking for at that point. But my journey back came through some health issues I had. Mm-hmm. In 2016. I suffered a heart attack, pretty much hit the floor, pretty much dead. So I always tell people I'm on borrowed time right now, and God gave me another chance. And
there you go.
It motivated me to get back in the gym because, first of all, the doctor said I would never be able to do it again. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without being real winded. Just a lot of different health issues. Then finally I went into a depression, started eating, started drinking alcohol, and just like, you know what, I'm just going to be normal for a while. And normal turned into 375 pounds.
Yeah, when I met Bigfoot, he was Bigfoot. He was a big old guy.
That's a big man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't bodybuilding 375 pounds. It was more salt and pepper chicken.
from JJ's.
Donuts and oatmeal raisin cookies, ice cream. But it just was one day I was waking up, man, and saying, I just can't keep doing this to myself. I've, been recovered. God delivered me from a heart attack. What am I doing to manage my miracle? And I just got up one morning and said, you know what? It's not impossible. I'm 375 pounds. I got myself in this hole. I'm going to get myself out of it. And I started training again, and next thing I know, the weight started coming off. And then last year, I invited Ernest to come talk to my kids at church about health and fitness, and he really inspired me.
My Bigfoot said, came to work next day, said, man, I'm thinking I'm about to get back on it, Big Ernest.
And when he talked to those kids, that kind of lit a fire in me again to say, you know what, I should have been up there with him and his wife to talk about the health and fitness, but look what I'm looking like now, and I want to, be a billboard of what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the motivating factors. And when he talked to those kids, and I saw how they was, really engaged in him and his wife coming out. And I appreciate Miss Naomi for coming out as well and talking to the kids. And it motivated me to get back in the gym. And I've been on that journey ever since.
So tell the people how much you didn't lost since last year. So what you was at 375?
375.
Where you at now?
Today I got on the scale. I'm about anywhere from 290 to 288.
288.
Almost 100 pounds.
Almost 100 pounds.
Almost 100 pounds. And it's gonna be 100 pounds once I get to my goal of 275.
And let me tell you, folks, people, I seen this guy every day. The journey. It wasn't no quick fix. It wasn't nothing, no anything. It was this man simply making a decision to bring his food to work, not eat the junk food. We even started ordering a little bit more healthier food in our training classes.
When we teach. Yep.
And we kind of all supported each other in eating healthy. And you started working out a little bit at a time. You didn't jump. You didn't. I remember you said, because you kind of knew it, but you said, I ain't going too deep in it, Big Ernest.
Yeah.
I'm going to ease my way. You started a couple of days a week, 3 days a week. Then you had your positions where you just started kicking in every month. You start kicking in more and more and more. So, and that's, if anything you take from that, folks, is the fact that nothing happens overnight.
It's a slow process, and it's a healthier process to lose the weight at a slower pace. Another thing that motivated me, I had 3 significant family members passed away. The first one was my brother-in-law. He passed away in April. And then I lost my uncle in June, James Queen. My brother-in-law was David Simon. And James had just recently retired from ExxonMobil. And he was 56 years old, no signs of any health issues or anything. And he ended up passing away. And then the last was my younger brother, Larry, passed away in November 17th. We was working a turnaround during that time. And he passed away of congestive heart failure.
Really?
And I was like 3 punches to the gut that almost just floored me. And that was another determining factor to say, hey, you know what? I need to get back into the gym and make sure that I'm taking care of my health and just being an overall healthy person.
It's not just for the aesthetics of it, but it's about what's going on inside your body.
Right.
So your heart attack you had, was there anything leading up to that? Did you?
It was indicators that I ignored. Taking energy drinks, fat burners, and getting ready for competition was my normal routine. I think at that time we had a turnaround going on as well. Stopped taking my blood pressure medicine, which is a big no-no. I abruptly stopped taking some medicine that I shouldn't have stopped taking. So if everyone's listening, stay on your medication. Even if you're starting to feel better, I start feeling like Superman. So I was like, you know what?
I don't need this
medicine anymore. And that was a big mistake. And just pushing myself, going to school online, taking my OSHA certification. And just living
overextending the body,
over just going beyond human capacity, and just still having to deal with everyday life activities, your job, your family. You still got to take care of your family. And I think it was just a whole lot on my plate at that time.
I got you.
There you go, man. It's dangerous. So people, take care of yourself. Balance that stress load. Stress on top of a bad diet, on top of not living healthy, on top of all the bad habits that we do
you start building up that cortisol in your body and you're headed down the wrong
That's a combination for disaster, absolutely.
Wrong path, man. So Bigfoots, man, we running up against the time, big dog. So we're gonna have to do a round 2 with Bigfoots, man. See, that's what everybody that come on the show, what's the number one thing they worry about? Man, I ain't gonna know what I want to talk about. I ain't gonna know what I want to say. Then as soon as they get here, you can't keep them quiet.
Once you get past that initial, then the conversation just keep flowing. And
right.
I'll definitely be back when y'all have me back.
So, man, if you got one thing you want to leave the people with, Bigfoots, what is one message you want to leave for the folks out there?
One message I like to say, first of all, put God first in everything you do.
There you go. Number one. Praise God.
That's always number one. Don't forget about your family when you're accomplishing your goals, because they're a part of the team as well. And don't let anybody talk you out of your goal. Anything you put your mind through, whether it's fitness, whether it's race cars, CrossFit, whatever you're going to do, make sure that you all the way in. Don't let anybody talk you out of it.
Don't half-step it.
Believe in yourself and pour all you have into it. And just continue to improve remember it don't happen overnight, and continue to work towards your goal.
There you go, man.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. Set goals. Well, Bigfoot, this normally what a time where we let you pub your social media accounts, but you don't have one, Bigfoot. So
I would definitely.
we're gonna do a follow up to some B&B. So once Bigfoot get him an Instagram account,
yeah,
because the one thing I think is your journey and your story is interesting, and people take their journeys lightly. And don't understand when you share your journeys that help people come out of the shells that they in, and it helps people become healthy and become better. So somebody might hear say, man, I'm on that verge. I'm on that person that's high stress, on these blood pressure medications. I can't lose this weight. But now they hear you lost almost 100 pounds in a year.
Absolutely.
And
my wife told me, she said, quit. She said, I know you're a guy that likes to stay under the radar. Say, but there's a lot of people out there that need to hear your story.
Need the help.
They need the motivation. Yep. So, God gave you the gift of lifting weights and being a motivational speaker and motivating people. Say, so use it. Use the tools that you have and use those gifts.
So y'all can't follow Foots nowhere right now. But once he get that Instagram account, everything set up, then we'll get it going. So
I would definitely do that.
But once again, you can find us on Instagram, on YouTube at Masters of Fitness. Yeah, go check out that YouTube page. We're gonna be putting up more content once we get more keen in regards to videography.
We're working on that.
Get some of the clips from Thad's endurance class up in there. You can follow me at EJ_Doyle and Instagram. You can download us on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Google Play. Everywhere. Download. You can download it. Don't even listen to it. Just download us.
Yeah.
just keep the downloads going. Where can people find you, Thad?
On Instagram at King Thad. And then I'm on Facebook also. You can go to my Facebook page and check out all of our endurance classes. I take a photo of every class we take, every class we have. Now, everybody's not in the photo all the time. That's all right, because some people kind of start walking out. They're starting to learn. People are starting to learn.
Because people tired of dealing with the workouts, Dad. They get tired.
I like to get a photo of every single class I have.
Dad, he wants to see. It's like his wall of fame. He goes on, puts them up on his wall, and see all the people he didn't put through the pressure cooker. So yeah, find Thad at Beaumont CrossFit 8:30 Saturday mornings. Cattail Marsh runs every Thursday at 6:30. So there's two opportunities for you, Bigfoot, to increase that cardio. You can come catch us at Cattail Marsh, or you come to CrossFit Endurance, man. So thank you, people. Thank you for joining the show and signing out. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. So
cue the cool drop.
Drop.